What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network as well as on Peacock. And today we're talking the Elimination Chamber 2021 edition of WWE The Day Of. And as I've said before, I'm pretty sure all the network content is going up on Peacock as soon as it goes up on the network. I'm hoping, anyway. That wasn't the case with a few other shows they've done, like Talking Smack a few days ago. But hopefully that will be the case, and they'll get better at doing that in the days and weeks and months ahead. But another thing I wanted to mention was that today I was originally planning on talking about the Broken Skull sessions with Randy Orton that went up on Sunday. I haven't had the time to watch it in its entirety yet. It's close to 2 hours, so once I finish that, review it in the next couple days, it'll likely be up on Friday. That's what I'm planning on right now. I know that's a pretty big difference from today, but that's what I'm planning on doing right now. So stay tuned for that if you've already watched it and looking for my 2 cents on it, as I've done with every other installment of Broken Skull sessions. Just be patient. It should be up by Friday. But nonetheless, we had Day Of go up on Friday, this past Friday, on Elimination Chamber 2021. It was a good, short, and sweet episode, close to around 14 minutes, kind of covering the behind the scenes, what went into the pay-per-view, what happened coming out of the pay-per-view with The Miz becoming the new WWE Champion, and the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. This heavily focused on both chamber matches, what the superstars were thinking and feeling going into both bouts. The first thing that we see actually here on Day Of is Miz preparing to cash in on Drew McIntyre coming off the Elimination Chamber match from Raw. And Miz says to the camera at like 9:24 p.m. Eastern time, he goes, "I know people are going to hate this cash-in." He knows that people are about to hate what he's going to do when he becomes champion, which I thought was funny. We hear from Jeff Hardy, who says the Elimination Chamber structure is like God and the devil, in that it can be both a good and a bad thing. Cesaro says it's a massive structure. It's just enormous, and you don't really truly grasp how big of a structure and how devastating it is until you step in there. Baron Corbin says it's unforgiving, and there really is no one way to prepare for that physicality once you step in there. Kevin Owens sees it as an opportunity to do something cool, for something to jump off of, which he always does. That's always his mindset with everything, from the pirate ship at WrestleMania last year, which we're getting this year instead, to now the Elimination Chamber match. And this did mark, I'm pretty sure, his first Elimination Chamber match. And he's been with the company now for 5-6 years. This was his first chamber match, crazily enough, or as crazy as that may seem. But he also says that it's unpredictable. You always gonna have to have eyes in the back of your head. Always got to be looking out for other people coming up behind you, stuff like that. Corbin also talks about the stakes where the winner of this match will advance to, quote-unquote, later on in the night. Roman came out immediately afterward. But the winner would advance to face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship later on in the show. Cesaro wants to make people proud. He knows the momentum that he has right now. They recap his Talking Smack promo, maybe not from that weekend, but it was like a couple of weeks before the pay-per-view. And he knows there's pressure there, but he knows that promo also resonated with people, and again, he wants to make them proud. We also hear from then WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, who talks about the Elimination Chamber structure and wanting to walk in and walk out still the WWE Champion, which is what he was able to do without knowing that Miz was going to cash in that night. Sheamus talked about how he walked into his first Elimination Chamber as WWE Champion 11 years prior, back in 2010. He did not walk out as champion. He lost the championship that night to Triple H. Or no, Triple H eliminated him. But I'm pretty sure it was John Cena who won the chamber. But either way, he promises that it's going to be a war when he steps inside that structure. And he doesn't want to be complacent. He wants to stay as hungry as every other NXT performer coming up, everyone else on the roster, because he knows once he gets complacent, that's when he knows that he has to go. So he wants to stay hungry, and he also doesn't know if this is going to be his last opportunity at the WWE Championship. This may be it for him, which honestly, it could be, because he lost the Elimination Chamber here. He, as of this recording, went on to Fastlane, lost to Drew McIntyre on the show. Probably not going to be factored into the championship match of Mania, nor should he be. So it might be his last opportunity to the championship, and he wants to make the most of it. Jeff Hardy talks about all the possibilities that could occur inside the chamber. Kind of talking about how Edge returned and won the Royal Rumble match a month prior. What if Jeff Hardy had this career resurgence and won Elimination Chamber when people were least expecting it to become champion? Of course, that's not what happened. And he did have a great showing in there for as long as he lasted, but it is weird they never really treated Jeff Hardy, another guy like Rey Mysterio too, never really treated those type of guys as like the legends that they are. Not to say they should be world champion 5 or 6 more times, but for whatever reason, WWE doesn't put them on the same level as an Edge or as a Goldberg. I mean, they're not exactly Goldberg, but Ray and Jeff Hardy are still very popular. Nonetheless, we hear from Kofi Kingston as well, who talks about how it's a different story this time than it was 2 years ago when he went inside the chamber riding off of Kofi Mania and almost became WWE champion. He's got to go through those trials and tribulations, and what happened 2 years ago has nothing to do with this pay-per-view. Sami Zayn says he's excited for something that he's never done before, and it's always worse once you step in there. You can always try to prepare and think about how bad it's going to be physically once you go through that chamber, but it's always going to be worse than you're expecting. That's what he says. So they recap the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match that saw Daniel Bryan pull out the victory, earn the championship opportunity, that is, only to then immediately lose to Roman Reigns and fall short to become a Universal Champion in an impromptu match that took place right after this one. And then Edge came out, speared Roman, pointed at the sign, and we had Edge and Roman made official for WrestleMania at that very moment. Kevin Owens talked about how, coming off the loss, he's going to have bittersweet memories of this match. You know, he gave it his all. He tried to come out on top. He fell short, but he's going to have bittersweet memories coming out of the show. Cesaro talked about the loss as well, saying that he felt lost coming off of the Bar breakup 2 years ago, but he's since found himself, and he knows he's going to rebound and do bigger and better work going forward. They then recap the Raw Elimination Chamber match that saw Drew McIntyre pull out the victory, only for Bobby Lashley to come out, the former United States champion, attack Drew, and paved the way for The Miz to become WWE champion by cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. And we see Kofi Kingston say that he was able to test himself inside the chamber, really showed that he still has what it takes to be at that level. But yeah, Miz cashes in the contract, becomes WWE champion, and we hear his comments that he said to WWE.com right afterward, and that he said, "This is me saying I'm content being awesome, and I'll see you at WrestleMania." Or on Raw, whatever comes first, which obviously Raw comes first. But, of course, he went on to lose the WWE Championship 8 days later after this pay-per-view to Bobby Lashley. So the moment of seeing Miz as champion, that's probably why they didn't spend as much time on it as they did, just because he's no longer champion by the time this went up on Friday. But it was still cool, though. I thought it was still a very good day of, focusing on the two top matches on the show, which both delivered. And I thought hearing from the superstars both beforehand and afterward was a nice touch as well. So this was good. Check it out right now on the WWE Network, WWE The Day of, Elimination Chamber 2021. Or check it out on Peacock. Pretty sure it's up there as well. And again, as I said earlier, I'm hoping all the network content that goes up first thing on the day that they're advertised to release it goes up as quickly on Peacock as well. That's my hope. If it's like an hour delay, that's not that big of a deal. But if they're advertising to drop it at 10 a.m. Eastern time on the network, and then it goes up on Peacock at like 4 p.m. that same day, that's like ridiculous. So hopefully that's not the case. And I haven't used Peacock a whole bunch. The live streaming issues are, still a problem in the sense that you can't pause things, you can't rewind it, you can't start from the beginning if you start watching a pay-per-view halfway through. That's all bullshit. So hopefully they can work on that and address those issues moving forward. But that's neither here nor there right here as far as this review is concerned. But thanks, guys, as always, for checking out these videos. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Hit the bell button as well to be notified every time a new video goes up. And stay tuned for more exclusive interviews in the days to come here on the channel, on WrestleRant Radio and article form as well. A lot of stuff planned for this week on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, like I said, and never miss a video. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.